There we go. It takes 2 clicks for me. I don't know why.
People who will tell you everything you want to hear just to get what they want. And some of you have fallen into this trap. You keep helping people who have proven themselves to be dishonest. You keep giving to people who have never been truthful. And every time they get caught, they come with another story, another manipulation. Let me tell you something. If someone has manipulated you to get your help, they do not deserve it. If they have twisted the truth, guilt-tripped you, or pressured you into giving, you need to step back and let them go. Now let me say it again. I'm not saying we shouldn't help people. I'm saying we must use discernment. There is a difference between someone who is truly in need and someone who is playing a game. Here are some signs that someone is dishonest or manipulative. They always have a story, but the details never add up. They only come around when they need something. They guilt-trip you if you hesitate to help. They have a pattern of using people. They make promises they never keep. They never take responsibility for their actions. Beloved, God did not call you deceived. He called you to walk in wisdom. Number 7, the unrepentant. Beloved, there is a difference between someone who struggles with sin and someone who is unrepentant. There is a difference between someone who falls and gets back up and someone who lays in their sin and refuses to move. The Bible is very clear about those who refuse to repent. Hebrews 10:26 says, "If we deliberately keep on sinning after receiving the knowledge of the truth, no sacrifice for sins is left." This is a sobering word. It is one thing to fall into sin, but it is another thing entirely to deliberately continue in it after hearing the truth. Unrepentance is rebellion. Unrepentance is a heart posture that says, "I know what God says, but I don't care." And let me tell you something. When you try to help someone who is unrepentant, you are not helping them. You are only enabling their rebellion. Some of you have been carrying people that God has been trying to break. You have been rescuing people that God has been trying to correct. But hear me, if you keep interfering with God's process, you will end up fighting against Him. If someone refuses to change, they will continue to misuse your help. You can pray for them, you can counsel them, you can pour out your wisdom, your love, your resources. But if they are not ready to turn away from sin, everything you do will be wasted. There are people who do not want to be delivered. They want to be comforted in their sin. They don't want to be corrected. They want to be affirmed. They don't want transformation. They want sympathy. But hear me, you cannot set someone free who loves their chains. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 29:1, "Whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy." There comes a point when correction will no longer work. Some people are not suffering because of the devil. They are suffering because of their own hard heart. God is full of mercy, but He is also a God of justice. He is slow to anger, but He is not slow to judge those who refuse to turn from their ways. Romans 2:5 warns, "Because of your stubbornness and your unrepentant heart, you are storing up wrath against yourself for the day of God's wrath." That means when a person refuses to repent, they are piling up judgment for themselves. And let me tell you something. God knows how to humble the unrepentant. Beloved, hear me. God will always warn before He judges. He will always send correction before He brings destruction. But if a person continues to harden their heart, ignore His voice, and reject His truth, they will eventually experience the full weight of their choices, because God will never override free will. If someone does not want to change, God will let them experience the consequences of their choices. And sometimes you have to step back and let them hit rock bottom. Luke 15:11-32 gives us a powerful example of in the parable of the prodigal son. The father did not chase after the son when he left. He did not rescue him when he wasted his inheritance. He let him go. And it was only when the son was starving in the pig pen that he came to his senses. Some people will never change until they hit rock bottom. Some people will never repent until they are broken. Some people will never listen until they have lost everything. And if you keep trying to rescue them before they repent, you are interfering with the lesson that God is trying to teach them.
Bella! Where the hell have you been, Luca?
Bryce